Hello students, once again you are most welcome here. Dear students, we are now at the end of the chapter. What is democracy and why democracy? This is the last video for this chapter. As 1 week ago when our online class was running at that time, we have completed this chapter, but only a single page was remained, so you will also complete it today. Now let's see. Why democracy? Okay, let's see. We are a very democratic family. Whenever a decision has to be taken, we all sit down and arrive at a consensus. My opinion matters as much as my father's. I don't like teachers who do not allow students to speak and ask questions in the class. I would like to have teachers with democratic temperament. Now, student, we are a very democratic family, and in a democratic family, you know that if you have to take any decision at that time, this is the rule, this is the process of a democratic country that whenever you have to take any decision, you have to must sit together to get general agreement, to get opinion of each people who belong to or who affected to that decision. Decision. Now, uh, it is also said in a democratic country, in a classroom when teacher and students are studying in a classroom and if there is no freedom for the student in the classroom, it means in the classroom they are not following the rule of democracy. If the student is asking any question related to the particular topic, at that time the teacher can't say that sit down and don't disturb the class. The teacher can't say like this. The teacher has to explain. The teacher has to solve the teacher has to clear the doubt of the students at that time. One leader and his family member decide everything in this party. How can they talk of democracy? This way of using the word democracy go back to its basic sense of a method of taking decision. A democratic decision involves consultation with and consent of all those who are affected by that decision. So, in a democratic country, we can't say that a party and only a party leader, one leader and only one family cannot check the conditions of each and every citizen of a particular country. They can never uh, they can never uh, involves in the consultation and the consent of all people because decisions in a country uh, when it is taken it create an environment and many peoples were affected at that time by this decision. Okay, so those who are powerful have the same say in taking the decision as those who are powerful. This can apply to a government or a family or any other organization. And thus democracy is also a principle that can be applied to any sphere of life. So it is says that maybe any party, any people, any leader are very powerful at his he or it is going to take any decision. But in a democratic country, organization, family, consensus is must. Without it, if there is any decision is going to make, it means they are not trying to complete the value of democracy, because it is also a principle that can be applied at any moment, at any cycle of life. Sometimes we use the word democracy not to describe any existing government, but to set up an ideal standard that all democracies must aim to become. And we use the word democracy only not to describe any existing government, but we must have to set up an ideal standard, and that all democracies indicate to true democracy will come to this country only when no goes hungry to bed. In a democratic country, the biggest formula, the biggest matter is it that if in a country, if a country is democratic country, it means no one goes hungry to bed, because in a democratic country it works for each and every citizen. So you can say that our country, India, is a democratic country, and in our country, government provides foods, ration to the peoples at village level, town level, city level, uh, by a fixed center that is known as quota in a at a village level, and the people who is needy, they collect their rations from the shops, ration shop. So in a democracy, every citizen must be able to play equal role in decision making. For this, you don't need just an equal right to vote. Every citizen need to have equal information, basic education, equal resources, and lot of commitment. So this is the value of democracy, where the citizen must be able to play equal role in decision making. As every citizen play equal role से मतलब है कि we elect our representative, and our representative also play a role in the parliament when any decision is going to make. At that time they also involve there, they also give their opinion there. So it is said that every citizens in a democratic country requires informations, educations, resources, and other commitment. If you take this ideal seriously, then no country in the world is a democracy. And that an understanding of democracy as an ideal reminds us of why we value democracy. And if we check all these ideals one by one, if we only care that all these ideals are completing or not completing, we are receiving or not receiving, if you check such type of problem matters every time, so never you can say that you are a part of democracy and there is any democracy. No country will be perfect in the matter of democracy. At that time, you have to avoid some things like this. It enables us to judge an existing democracy and identify its weakness. It helps us to distinguish between a minimal democracy and a good democracy. And uh, we also get some information, we also get some value to check the difference between the minimal democracy and a good democracy. Now you also see here that uh, the most common form of democracy in today's world is rule through पीपल्स इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव मीन्स इस समय जब भी डेमोक्रेसी की कॉमन ऑफ फीचर की बात करेंगे तो एक क्लियर रहेगा कि जहाँ भी कंट्री में जिस वर्ल्ड के जिस कंट्री में हमारे इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव और रूलर्स हैं तो इट मीन्स देयर इज डेमोक्रेसी. If the country is small, there can be other way of taking democratic decision, but all the people can sit together and take decisions directly. This is how Gram Sabha should work in a village. तो इस तरह से ग्राम सभा का जो काम होता है, ग्राम सभा ही सबसे बड़ी, भले ही एक देश की छोटी इकाई होती है, लेकिन सारे देश की सिस्टम्स का जो बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती है, जो बेसिक वैल्यू होती है, ये सब ग्राम सभा लेवल से ही क्लियर होता है. ठीक है. तो इस तरह से ग्राम सभा की असेंबली चलती है. लाइक दैट आवर असेंबली इज आल्सो ऑफ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड this is not possible to make sit together all the peoples in a particular country during the decision making time. So in our country, in the democratic country and in many country, there are some system to get opinion of those people, and uh, through the representative, through the electoral member, through the uh, village headman, through the town headman. So like that, such type of steps, such type of means, mediums, government collect information of the people's opinions of the people, and after that, government take decisions in a democratic country. Okay. So students, finally we are going to complete this chapter, and here we can also think here that no country is a perfect country, and in no country is perfect democracy. The features of democracy we discussed in this chapter provide only the minimum condition of democracy. That does not make it an ideal democracy, and every democracy has to try to realize the ideals of democratic decision making. This cannot be achieved once and for all. So this requires a constant effort to save and strengthen democratic forms of decision making. What we do as citizen can make a difference to making our country more or less democratic, and this is the strength and the weakness of democracy. तो स्टूडेंट्स, इस तरह से हमने डेमोक्रेसी और नॉन डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में बहुत सारी चीज़ों को पढ़ा. पिछले एक हफ्ते से इस चैप्टर को हम चला रहे थे. आपको डेमोक्रेसी नॉन डेमोक्रेसी से रिलेटेड कई ऐसे कंट्री के बारे में हमने बताया, बहुत से ऐसे वैल्यू के बारे में बताया, बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स के बारे में बताया, डिसीजन मेकिंग्स के बारे में बताया, और जिससे कि आप एक डेमोक्रेसी को स्ट्रेंथ प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं. इन सारी चीज़ों को आपको बताया गया. Now you have to revise all these videos of this chapter, and on the basis of this video you can judge, you can check the chapters, clear the doubts of the chapters, and if you have any other doubts, you can ask in the comment box. Okay.